there, Lindsey Wohlman here with another round of Painting with Lindsey. Thanks to the Lafayette Arts Collective and Public Arts Committee for hosting this. Today we're going to do a fun abstract carnation. Now this is going to be a 2-layer project and it's not from a photo. We're just going to go from our memory of beautiful flowers in the springtime. So let's begin. All right, let's get started. What you'll need for this project is watercolor paper, a palette to work on, your watercolors, and a bigger kind of moppy brush and a smaller detail brush. I have 2 containers, one for dirty water, one for clean water, and I have cloth towels, paper towels will work. Quick note on the paper, you should try to use a little bit heavier watercolor paper because we're going to put a lot of water on this. Watercolor paper is designed to absorb water and then dry out and not fall apart, so just keep that in mind. So let's start out. We're going to get our big mop brush wet. We're going to create a big oval of water on our paper. And what this is going to do is it's going to absorb in the paper. It's going to give us the ability to lay down color that's going to kind of run. We want abstract shapes. We want things to kind of run around and have some fun. You also want to tape your paper down because the water will make it curl. You can use, I'm using painter's tape, but Scotch tape will work just as well. So we're going to let that absorb for just a moment. And you'll notice you can see the shine from my light. So you can see the paper is pretty darn wet, and that is okay. So let's talk about our colors. I'm going to do 2 colors that are pretty diluted. I have an orange with some yellow, and it has got a lot of water in it. I also have a purple with some black. Those are going to be our base colors. Our other colors are going to be, that are darker and more intense, are the green for the stem for the flower, our orange for the details, and then the details of the vase is kind of a purple and black. Those will be the second portion. Let's start with the first. So we're going to take our diluted orange, and we're going to make the shape of a carnation. It's going to be 3 petals. We're going to go 1 petal, 2 petal, 3 petal in the background. So you can see we've laid out the colors. They're kind of running. That's okay. And already I can tell you I don't want my carnation to go so far down. So one of the cool things you can do with a watercolor brush, dry it out real quick, and it'll act like an eraser. And you can pull color up. See how it's absorbing that water, moving it up? There we go. So I want to add a little bit of an edge to the front petal. So I'm going to grab a little bit more orange, dilute it down. There we go. So now we've got some more detail. And now those colors are laid down, you can move them around in that water. Pull them down, create some shading. You see the top is running again, so I'm going to dry out my brush. I'm going to vacuum up that extra water. I'm going to do it over here too. There we go. You can see the layout. I've kind of cut the paper in half, so the top half is going to be the flower, the bottom half is going to be the vase. Let's paint that background for that vase real quick. So I'm going to grab that dark diluted purple. I'm going to do one side and a little bit of a bottom. There we go. It's going to be kind of a square, tall, skinny vase. There we go. Let's add some more detail. You can grab a little more paint, but not too much, and dilute it down before you put it on the paper. There we go. Same rules apply. You can pull it around. There we go. If you put too much, you can dry your paintbrush off and vacuum up your edges. There you go. Now this is totally freehand and off the top of my head, but you can use photos as a reference for this style. We're just laying 2 layers of color down. It's still very loose. It's kind of abstract. It's fun. There we go. All right. Now I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm going to pause this video and I need my paper to dry. I recommend drying it very thoroughly. If you want to speed things up, which is what I'm going to do while I'm gone, I'm going to go use a hairdryer. Hairdryer on cold will totally dry your paper out. You also want to do that because your water's going to start running on you, and that's no fun. You've put your color down in the places you've liked. I'm going to add a little yellow up here, just for fun. Just for a little extra pop. Now we're going to add another layer of color on top of this. We're going to add probably two layers. Don't worry, it is very light now, but it'll get more intense in a moment. All right, I'll be right back. All right, this is dry. Let's keep going. I'm going to start with my smaller brush, and we're going to start with the frilly edges of the carnation petals. And we're going to make those just using small, short strokes next to each other. I'm using a much stronger, brighter orange this time. Add a little yellow in. We're overlapping these layers of the edges. Grab some color. Let's do the bottom edges. Just big, simple sweeps. 1, 2. Here we go. Grab some of that diluted color. You can kind of push this up around it and pull these together a little bit. Make them look like one flower. Here we go. So you look at a flower, there's lots of petals overlaying each other. It's not exact. That's the fun part. And extend this all the way down. There we go. That's our very front petal. Take a little water and just push this around. Ooh, too much water. There we go. Push this up towards these edges. I don't want them to touch. If I touch those short little strokes we just made, they're going to run for the hills. So we'll keep it a little ways away. And add a little more color in here too.